You hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah. Trying to figure out why my external webcam keeps like deregistering itself or whatever like devices my machine isn't finding it. I know maybe it's going bad.
Dude, I think I have a compromised immune system. I get sick like every other week.
Oof.
It's messing up my training. Hey, there's a Miami Marathon at the end of the month, FYI.
Oh, yeah. I'm not in running shape right
Hint,
now.
hint, hint, hint.
I'm not in running shape at this point. I let myself kind of go after October. I started running again last week, um, and then this week I've had some. I don't know some. Monday night I felt like I was like my heart was exploding or something, or that it was shutting off or something like that. It was weird.
That's scary, ain't
So
it?
yeah, I've been kind of freaked out all week. So I was really tired on Tuesday, and then I'm like, plus last run I had, I got some bad chafing, which wasn't very good. So I don't know if you've ever had trouble with that, but man, that's
What's
painful.
chafing?
It's just like when like two body parts rub together too much, and that kind of produces like
You talking
too
about
much
your
friction.
knees?
No, my thighs and I think I've had it, yeah, mostly kind of my thighs or whatever. But
You talking about like against fabric, or you talking about bones?
it's against fabric or other skin, so it just
Oh,
produces
okay.
too much friction. I believe that's what chafing is, anyways. I don't know, but anyways, it's painful as hell when it happens.
Yeah, don't runners get that with their nipples or something?
Yeah, I've got that before, man. It
Uh,
sucks. It's the most painful thing
well,
ever.
because you don't wear
Not
like
ever, but
because you wear cotton or something, like the raw
yeah, if you wear a
material.
long, yeah, something where it's kind of there or whatever. So
Uh,
after that, I got these little things that they sell on Amazon. They're called nippies, and they're just these little like freaking. I like the name because it's a great pun.
it's what
Nippies.
strippers wear.
No, they're not. Those are called. Oh God, what are those called? Um.
When they put little bandages over their nipples and
Yeah,
they
they're
just
not
walk around
band-aids though.
topless.
They're called like pasties or something like that. No, pasties are like a
Pasties.
pasties maybe. Yeah, I think it's called pasties.
Uh,
But no, these are like I don't know. They're called. I'll send you a link. They work great though, um, and so I've kind of continued to use them because it's no problems after that.
hey, Gamlor. Gambler is my only subscriber that's active.
It's a really long name, but yeah, nippies.
Yeah, so you're up north, so I guess you have to wear, or because it's colder or cooler up there, it probably makes more sense to wear a shirt. Like I'll run most of the time without a shirt,
Yeah, when it's
but
cooler out, it
that's
gets
just for the
warm.
nipples, right? We're not talking about the thighs
Yeah, no,
or the
you gotta.
scrotum.
Yeah, that you gotta
So
use like petroleum jelly or whatever. Will kind of take care of that. So, and I've always with long runs, I've always kind of put
Vicks vapor
petroleum.
rub.
Yeah, yeah, that would probably burn. I would guess, but I've always used like petroleum jelly to
I'm
lube
gonna
up.
be romantic. I'm gonna try that out. My next
Oh,
intimate moment, I'm gonna put some Vicks vapor rub on it.
what is that? Oh,
uh,
no,
just sniff it, baby. Sniff it.
I
I
can
watch
smell so much
YouTube flag
better.
me.
Oh.
They they flagged. I got a strike, and I don't know why. When I was doing a video with Odie 2 weeks ago, we were talking about like business. I have no clue what racial epithet I dropped or what I did for them to send me an email saying you received your first strike due to something against their policy. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, anyways,
Yeah, they don't ever really tell you, is from what I understand. Yeah, Gambler, my main webcam is that shows color better. Is for some reason it's not registering on my machine. It's been kind of on and off doing that for the last week. No idea why. So it's using the integrated one, which is darker.
So I had to. Let me ask this question: how often is a bug considered a feature or a standard within the projects that you work on? Where
Um,
if they fix it, it's going to disrupt the business.
oh, um, not often.
I had to go
Actually, I don't know that
through.
I've ever had that happen.
I had
Um,
to.
yeah.
I, I had to go through a dozen repos and swap out the attributes from data contract and data member attributes on all of my record types that are meant to be serialized to JSON and deserialized to CLI mutable. And I had to go through 12 different repos. And some of these repos are really, really big, right? And that took about 2 solid business days. And then having to debug it when it should work, but it doesn't, and then find gotchas in other areas. So,
Dang, what was
so
that for?
apparently, the latest version of, I guess, .NET Core, it had addressed a workaround for me using F sharp and having to use data contract attributes similar to what you would use in WCF to serialize my my data values to JSON that
Oh,
are
okay.
from F sharp record types. And so they fixed it and it broke everything. Like everything.
So you upgraded to like .NET 7 or something, or
It's I
just a
think
new
I
version
think it
of?
was the .NET Core version update. Oh yeah, and I updated all my NuGet packages, which was
Yeah.
also painful for like a dozen different repos. And then like upgrading my Android emulate, updating my Android SDK. Like everything was updates, man. I spent an hour this morning trying to figure out why my Android emulators weren't showing up in my admin app for me to approve courier applications. And I just got that resolved. It took an hour. Like that's the thing about software development, man. It's so many like nuances for things that don't work. I don't know how people would get by without Stack Overflow. The man, the manual would not solve it within the opportune time. Like imagine how much humanity has evolved since the internet. Like it's incredible. I don't understand how the
Yeah.
industrial revolution happened without the internet.
Our necks kind of went like this, and no.
Uh,
Well, we're in the what, third industrial revolution or whatever.
well, digital revolution, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Software development, that kind of stuff drives me nuts too. It's just like you want it to work and it doesn't. Whatever. That's why you just build everything from the ground up yourself, assembly all the way up to the top. Then you don't have to worry about package updates and no.
Yeah. Outside of that, I've been consuming a lot of content on Y Combinator videos. I tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think do they sell like old fashioned? All right, this is what I want to do. All right, I need to put my branding and my QR codes on the very few items that I have. So when I rent it out, it's more obvious that there's a service out there to accommodate people, right?
Hmm.
So they'll see like the huge Android, Apple Store icons. They'll see a QR code, and that should be enough without me getting in trouble. I don't know if I'll get in trouble if I say rentals and then put that on the tents or canopies. I might get myself in trouble with that. But if I imply with just the App Store icons and the QR code, maybe that's enough. Of course, I got to run a test on it. But by default, I'll probably do the Android icon.
I lose you. Did I go out or did you go out? Well, my internet still works.
Yeah, I hear your audio. Okay, yeah, the camera went out on my side.
All right.
My question is, do you know if there's a product out there where I could submit the images and then they send me back an adhesive with the image on it and I could just iron it on to some fabric?
I don't know if there's a print shop that does that. Um,
Because I mean, my next, I'm going to go to Vistaprint, but I'm trying to avoid buying 500 pop-up tents or canopies and having a sweat factory or a sweatshop in China do all that with the likelihood that they're going to get it wrong the first like two times, and I don't know, not really wasting my money, but not having it look as professional as I would like. So I would like to test it out with just um, you know, two items, canopy, pop-up tent, whatever else that I'll offer, and spend time iterating on it before I submit a order request to Alibaba for 100, and the specs are already detailed and proven more or less.
yeah, I
So
mean you can buy iron on paper or whatever. Um, it comes for standard printer size. I don't know if they make it bigger. Of course, you could chain them together, like print one part, print another part, and then just collage them together. If you want to prototype them, um, you could probably get the if you don't have a printer, like an inkjet printer or whatever, you could probably get the printing done
iron
at like
on
Kinko's or something.
images. Let me see. Iron on transfers. Use our images or upload your own to create your custom shirts. Iron on images. Check out our iron on images selection for very best.
Yeah,
Okay, so
another. I wonder if you could also just design a custom T-shirt on a site that allows you to design and submit custom T-shirts for print, and then just
I think I found
make
it.
a triple XL size or something like that, and then order it. I don't
I think I found it.
know. Okay.
So, oh, what just happened? Hold up. How do I do this? Present, share screen. They updated their oh, that's weird.
Yeah, the one thing I'd think with that you'd have to be,
It's something
um,
like this, right?
yeah. The other thing you could do is contact like a local T-shirt shop and ask them because they might have the capability to do some of that stuff because they're already putting.
I did.
Oh, you
They
did?
they declined.
Oh, okay. You call more than one or just one?
Oh
You gotta have a
well,
bunch in Miami, right?
I did using Yelp, and I sent them some messages, and like one or two of them declined, the others didn't respond.
Mm.
So this is pretty much what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Of course, it would be an image in addition to lettering, right? It'll be, but it's going to be really, really big. So like looking at his thumb, it looks like the height of that rectangle is, if his thumb is half an inch, it looks like, or maybe three quarters of an inch, it looks like the height of that is probably like 3.5 to 4 inches. The height of mine is likely to be probably 24 to 36 inches. It needs to be visible when people are entering the beach.
yeah.
It needs to be obvious,
Man, what
right?
I don't know. I would probably just buy the transfer paper and
Yeah.
and if you don't have a printer, you could probably go to like a Office Max or something. Or you could just buy a cheap inkjet printer or something. And then just print it and then iron it on yourself. Because then you could just, like I said, do it like a collage. You print this corner, this corner, this corner, this
What
corner, and just piece
what
them together.
what is heat transfer color? What does that mean?
I have no idea. What's the options? Maybe it's the color of the
You don't see my screen?
text. Yeah, I see the screen.
Oh,
I'm not seeing the options
it's
drop down though.
white. Really? Um,
Yeah, interesting.
my screen's frozen.
No,
You
no,
don't
I
see
can
me
see your
dropping
mouse
down the
moving.
list.
No, I wonder if that's a feature of like. I wonder if maybe the.
Which
Actually, I
screen are
don't
you
know why that
looking
would do
at?
that.
Or do you see my mouse moving right now?
Yeah,
Okay, but you don't see a drop down.
no, it must be something with the way that screen share works in
All right, so I'm moving.
WebRTC.
Did you just see my whole window get smaller?
Yeah,
Okay. Why don't you see a drop down?
like I said, it could be a bug in WebRTC in
No,
that
that's
implementation.
impossible.
Why?
It it's just pixels. It
No,
should show everything on my screen.
maybe unless it's like technically not on your screen, but I don't know. Actually, yeah, I don't know if it is just pixels. I don't know why it doesn't show there. It's really
So
interesting.
you don't see a drop down that says heat transfer color
Nope.
and me clicking on it.
I see the heat transfer color drop down. I don't see the options when you click the selected
White,
option.
black, blue,
Nope.
gold. Holy crap.
I see nothing.
Hold up. I'm gonna
Lebowski.
stop screen and then share it again. That doesn't make sense. It's pixels. Like it should just work. Entire screen. How about that?
Yeah, because if you're going to the browser window, it might consider those as
All right. How
outside the
about now?
browser. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it might have considered that outside the browser window when that drop down
Oh,
pops. So like I said, that could be a bug in either in
yeah.
the way that they design the drop downs or the way that WebRTC works with it to not recognize it. So I'm assuming that StreamYard's using WebRTC. So
I'm assuming heat transfer color is for text,
yeah, that'd be my guess too.
but this says your logo or your logo, image, or text. That's whatever.
Yeah, what's the sizes you can get up to on that? 18 by 20.
This is just for one.
Yeah.
No,
Dude,
no,
just go
that's
buy the paper and do it.
that's a. It can't possibly cost $50. You said just buy the paper. I still need the. All right, I'll research it.
Heat
I mean,
transfer paper, you can get like a whole pack for of 20 sheets for like $20 or even less.
what does that mean though? Like, I have to have the images on the paper. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
I've I've done this before. Like you basically you print it just like you would print a bunch of sheets of paper, and then you iron it on. I mean, I put this little Timo on a
so
shirt once.
so so I would put it. All right. So with my laser printer here in my crib, I would just replace the standard paper with heat transfer paper.
No, I think you have to have an inkjet printer for it though.
I mean,
I
that's what I
don't know
meant.
if laser printers will work.
What's the more modern one? Is it inkjet or laser?
Laser, but um
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I guess I don't know what the difference between heat transfer and sublimation paper is. Oh,
I've
maybe they're
never
the
even
same
heard that
thing.
before. I'm getting a website built. Um,
Did you find
let's
a
see.
designer with who knows WordPress, or did you find a WordPress developer?
I went on Fiverr and I found this is the template that I'm going to use. Hold up. Where am I? Yeah. I need to change this dinosaur with BM, as in Beach Mobile. Um,
Does that QR code work?
yeah, it works. So I need to over here. Oh God, are you serious? All right, scratch that. What's this over here? Nope. Uh, homepage. How about this one right here? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So I'm taking this template right here
Mm-hmm.
and I'm swapping out all this stuff
Yeah,
and all this
easy
stuff.
peasy.
I go, you use GIMP? You do any graphic design?
I've done stuff for like game jams. I've used GIMP. I don't like it as much as I like Paint.net. There are a couple things that GIMP does way better than Paint.net does, but I find Paint.net easier to use in general. Not
Uh,
Paint, but Paint.net.
oh, so
Um,
Paint.net is more friendly when it comes to transparency backgrounds and stuff like that.
yeah, you get into like layering and stuff like that. GIMP is better at certain things, like there's like resizing things that I find that it's useful for and whatever, but I think Paint.net is just, I think they just released Paint.net version 5. Um, it's hard to find it in the download for it because when you go to getpaint.net, there's ads that try to that are on the page that have been targeted to like click these things. So you have to kind of like go and find it. And if you try to get it from the Microsoft store, it's I think you pay for it there, but you can get it free otherwise. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I paint.net. Oh, it's an app award winner. Interesting. Um,
I wish I had like a Latin or a black guy instead of an Asian, but we don't have any Asians in Miami Beach.
um, yeah, I'll use paint.net for man, if I can find how to even download the damn thing. Oh, there it is. Here's the download page for that. You want to check it out?
All right, I'm about to click on it in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can create layers. Are what you need to do stuff that like what you're doing here, because then you can kind of like delete that text without deleting the underlying image, or change that text without the underlying image. There's other things you can do like blur effects and all that kind of stuff. Cropping is pretty good in it. Um, yeah, like I said, GIMP is good for some things. I use Inkscape for vector graphics, and it's pretty good. But I've realized in like 4K monitors, or I don't know, something within the last few iterations, I've like lost my capabilities with it, so I got to go relearn the damn thing. Um, and then I use some other tools sometimes, but you, one thing with that too is the coloring might be. I don't know if I don't know that dark gray really translates to beach color. If
Well,
you get my drift.
yeah, well, I put a note for the WordPress developer that I need the background to be a beach.
Gotcha.
So Gamma says Paint.net was my go-to on Windows. GIMP I never liked since I'm honestly on a Linux desktop now. I'm using Krita, but Paint.net is still awesome. Good mix between power and complexity. Yeah, I knew that Paint.net existed. I just didn't know what it did more than Paint.
Oh
And
yeah,
GIMP
yeah.
and GIMP is so confusing. I mean, it's not confusing to someone that works with it, just like Visual Studio. Like, I'm sure it's the most complex application out there until you have like, I don't know, 15 years using it. But GIMP, man, I have to research every simple thing.
Yeah, it's
And it
not
takes me
exactly
like
user
15 minutes to
friendly.
figure out how to do it.
Yeah, it's not exactly that user friendly. GIMP or Paint.net, one of the things it has going for it is that it feels close enough to Paint where you're comfortable, but it's far enough away where it's not so simple that it's like just Paint. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but um, I mean, I know I have the old version of Paint.net installed. I wonder. Sorry, I'm installing 5 now because I have the older version installed, but I want to see what 5 feels like.
But Paint.net is more for people like you and myself, and not for like professional graphic designers.
I
Would
think
that be true?
professionals could, but it's definitely like a power tool for people who are just normal. Um,
Okay.
I would think of it as that way, anyways. Um, Here, I can actually, if you have something that you want to do, hey, send me that QR code. I can show you how to like strip out the
All right.
strip out the thing and replace it with Beach Mobile, or actually send me your logo too. You could just put the logo right in the middle, couldn't you?
Um, it's a very small logo, but yeah.
We could resize it. Actually, just take a silhouette of it and resize it.
So I'm sending it to you through Twitter.
Okay, and I'll share. I can show you like just some basic stuff with it. One of the things, well, I really like the magic. Um, okay, let's see here.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The
Image.
where you select and it takes the whole region, and then I could just delete it to make it transparent.
Yeah,
What's it called? Magic wand or something like that?
yeah, magic wand. I like the magic wand feature. So you'd want to remove the dinosaur and then
Here's
I gotta remember my hotkeys for this stupid thing. K is for the bucket fill, so probably could have just squared it out like this. And just fill, I think, is F. Yeah.
still looking for a co-founder. I'm still getting disappointed.
Oh shoot, why am I doing this? I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm like sitting here doing stuff. Share screen. Window. Actually, I'll just share screen two. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that image is not scaled up very well. See, what you
When
need is of like a vector graphic version of it. Did you create that yourself? That
the logo, no.
okay?
That
Did you
image
just
that's a high res image. You need something smaller.
no? It's actually a not a very high res image. It's too blurry.
Oh, hold up.
It's very blurry actually. And maybe it's because of maybe Twitter. Um,
Here,
see
let
what
me
I got is that.
no, let me give you something small. Hold up. Is Twitter smart enough to take a file? Hold up. Here you go. It looks like that's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, it actually was worse. Interestingly
Well,
enough.
I mean, it's worse. It's a
But
48.
anyways,
It's 48 pixels. That's why it's blurred like that. Because they expanded to like 400 pixels.
yeah, I want to say that you can in here. Let's see, change this to black and white, and then I want to say you should be able to invert the colors here. So now we've got that. And so what you could do is just take these two features and throw those in there. I mean, that might not be what you want, but um, I suppose if you just took this outer part, that might even be fine. I think one of the problems with this is that the color scheme, you kind of have to like invert this. Um, well, here, let me try
No,
just taking
you're
an
in Paint
oval.
Paint.net.
Yeah. So if you were to take something like that, and see, here's where you can add layers down here, and then drop things in like that, and then tinker with them.
Oh, that's cool. You're so smart.
I don't know, you could crop out. See, I don't know what if you'd want the circle in there, or if you just literally do something like that. Now that looks ugly, but you could tweak that with. I think if you were to do that over here, and maybe take just that. Should be a way to actually make this go transparent. Actually, that's the one thing I think that GIMP does that I have never found a good way to do here, is that they give you a way to take a particular color and say, make this color transparent. And then it's like really, I guess, handy, but and I'm trying to think of how
you're
you
looking
would
for
do
the
this.
magic wand.
No, I've got the magic one, but so you want like enough tolerance where you get these pixels, these gray pixels around here, but you don't want enough. You don't want so much that it actually picks up this stuff. And then what, minus off like some of this here. See if we just want to get down to the tree.
Looks like you have more graphic design than I do. When I do it, it's so painful. I'm like, and I still got to do it for all these app icons in order to submit to the App Store.
We add on that. Let's see, add is that. Try that.
Gambler says, "Yep, I would say that Paint.net isn't for professionals, but an advanced picture tools for normals like us."
I don't know, you could probably add
Yeah,
some sort of like
that looks good.
blur. I wonder if there's a way to. The only thing is that gray color is kind of messed up. I wonder if like. See, this stuff I play with, but I'm not sure like.
It looks fine to me, just like that.
Yeah, the one thing is I guess with these grays and stuff, it's actually fine in the middle there.
No, yeah, because
merging and aligning is the other thing that this doesn't do well versus some other things. Like there's no, or sorry, alignment. So it's like you can't take an element like this and say, hey, center this screen or center it to some other thing that I have got a selection on. Those are the places where I curse Paint.net. But oh, interesting. Why did it?
No, Sean, I'm looking for a co-founder. Hint, hint.
What did it do? Oh, I took the
Gambler convinced Sean to be a co-founder.
Because I'm decent enough at graphics. Well, anyways, you get the idea.
When I go in front of a accelerator, that I think that's going to be. I mean, I'm sure that there's other things, right? But that's going to be one of the biggest concerns if I want to get funding. Is okay in the event that I get sick or I get shot, like who's going to carry the torch so that investors' money don't get lost. And so I mean that's one of the biggest reasons for getting a co-founder, I think, for me, is to have investor confidence or to increase investor confidence when I go in front of an incubator or accelerator.
Let's make sure it still works though. Beachmobile.app. Yeah.
Yep.
Comes soon. Yeah. Works. So
cool.
I wonder if you could. So one of the things that like a vector graphic one is it allows you to resize to anything. You can resize in these, but it's like you have to pick like. Yeah, this will be still higher. You can pick different like techniques to do it so that it's so that you either do like nearest neighbor or you anti-analyze it or whatever, whatever. Here we can send you back this and you can
toss that to
call it BM
graphic designer for them.
You realize that the name is when you initialize it, it's
poo.
It's BM.
Poo. Boo boo.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paint.net, man, I would just use this because like these tools are The one thing sometimes is that these tools will get lost, but you can always just come up here and find them. You can see the entire history here. The color picker is pretty decent. Like they said, the layering is really the thing that it gives you over paint, and then some of these other like I said, advanced features. So you can like add a layer and then write your text, right? And in Paint, if you were, let's say, to do something like this, where you put text over it, and then you were to exit off of it, well, now that is in the thing, so you'd have to totally undo that. But when you add layers, you can just, you know, do that kind of deal. So, and their undo is like really good too. So,
Is there a way to remove uh, decals from a existing like product? So, for example, white label, and they when you order from Amazon, they have the logo of another company. Is there a way to remove that without destroying the fabric?
um, you mean the actual fabric, like of the?
Yeah, so like my pop-up tents have whatever brand name
Oh,
that's pressed onto it.
yeah, I don't know. There's probably a technique to do it. I don't know. It would probably be like a chemical process, I'm guessing, but
Mm.
really have no idea. I've never thought of doing that before, other than like removing tags. But if you're trying to make something generic that isn't,
Yep.
um, I'm really not sure how that would play out. Trying to find that image. Where did I save it to? I might have to open up paint.net again just to remember where I saved it to. Save as. It's in. Oh, weird. Okay, that makes sense though. Uh,
Still have to implement Azure Blob Storage support. To still have to implement GPS filtering with blob storage to display a filtered catalog based on the GPS position of a customer, so that the products don't conflict with an affiliate at a beach station, so that they can refer the service and get a kickback. Of course, that doesn't have to be MVP, but I'm trying to get this thing out, nah.
yeah. Um, I know that some things like I think Elasticsearch and maybe Mongo have GPS filtering. I don't know if like what are you using as your data store? Just blob storage? You're not using any.
My data store is 90%, 95% Azure Storage Tables,
Okay.
which is a NoSQL. In
Yeah.
fact, I'm about to migrate my service keys that are hosted in Azure SQL Server to Azure Storage Tables, because it's just simpler. When I say simpler, it's simpler because there's not as much ceremony for my infrastructure as code to stand up. Like
Yeah. I don't think there's I don't know that there's as much like power in the querying language though. If you're
there's
trying to do
not,
something
there's
complex.
not, there's
So I was gonna
not.
say I think that um,
I just need it for the service keys, or I need it for the API keys. I was just going to migrate that from SQL Server to Azure Storage Tables. When it comes to the filtered databases,
yeah, Elastic
I,
has geo distance queries. So sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say when it comes to filtered catalogs based on GPS position, I want to get away from SQL Server as much as I can, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can with that requirement.
Yeah, well, you could use something that's not. I mean, you could use Elastic or I don't know if what does Azure offer Elastic as a service. I don't know that they do.
I guess the first question is, why would someone use Elastic? What is the benefit?
Um, so Elasticsearch is basically powerful um, search capabilities. So unlike when you throw something in a relational database, so it's a NoSQL database basically, right? But when you throw something into it, like a lot of columns get indexed, and you can do things like adding um, uh, using different analyzers and stuff. You can create different patterns to allow people to like search case insensitive or not case insensitive, and then doing things like fuzzy text searching, and you can add things like gosh, what is it? Synonyms and stuff to different words to improve it. You can boost certain words over other. It's just a really powerful querying tool or search engine. It's a search engine, is what it is. So it's, I think Elastic was what Google was based on, but I really don't know that for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I can still use Azure Storage Tables. I'll just have
but you could
a f-
try. So there's Azure's got a cognitive search that might work. Wonder if Azure's.
like all I got in theory, I can use Azure Storage Tables. It's rudimentary, for lack of a better term, and I just have a flag saying uh something about like chairs and umbrellas on or off, and that's it, right? And depending on the GPS location, uh, when the flag is set to off, it just won't show up in the catalog. I think I'm getting to a point now where I'm thinking more like a employer, and I'm thinking about business over technology. All right, where I just need it to work, and I need it to be simple enough, regardless of how cool it is, to just get to market, and
Yeah,
so that I can make adjustments as best as I can to see if there's a product fit.
yeah. Elastic is something that you kind of have to invest time in learning. It's I wouldn't for simple databases. I guess in your case you don't have a lot of data right off the bat, so it's really not. It might be actually just fine to run a cluster. It's just once you start scaling up or get reach scale, Elastic can be really difficult um, to scale up. Like you have to be conscious of it. Although I think there's there's some other like new features coming out where that might make it
Uh,
easier to do.
so I mean, behind the scenes, I still think it's one of the wisest decisions I made with this project is the reliance on an event stream. So every historical event that is significant towards a purchase, like all that stuff, pretty much gets captured in a sequence of events
Yeah,
and is tagged as a delivery request or a series of events that are associated to a courier. Um, Customer, I don't really care as much yet.
yeah. Well, delivery request isn't an event; it's a command.
No, that's the name of the stream.
Oh, yeah. So it should be delivery requested. Events are always past tense because they're facts about what happened.
Okay.
But anyways, I digress. I'm being totally like snub in the air, like But did you look at Azure Service or Event Hubs when you're doing that as to use as the event stream
You talking about
versus
during the analysis phase?
yeah
No.
when you're building this out?
Short answer is no.
Okay, because that would have given you probably I don't know what the costs are for Event Hubs, but that would
It
have given you
it would have helped out a lot.
storage plus the bus capability.
It
So
would have helped out a lot with the integrations with Twilio and Stripe.
mm, cool, cool.
How's your project going?
Which one? My desk?
Your
My
workbench.
or no, my game table. Uh, no, I don't know. I still haven't quite pulled the trigger on starting something for like a blog for Microsoft Orleans. I'm still kind of on the on the fence on whether I want to do that or not. But I was gonna submit a conference talk, and I think it's due next week. I want to say if I want to get in. See when that the one that I would go to is
in DC or something here in the States.
it's the Kansas City Developer Conference. Although
I haven't been to one in a minute. Like, I'm not interested in any of the topics. They're all Azure or unit testing.
AI will be big this year, though,
Oh my
for sure.
God. We should be thinking about what products we could build on top of ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think everyone's trying to figure that out, and it is kind of like if you think about it, we're kind of in the gold rush phase of that right now, where if you put something novel together, you could still make money off of it.
Did they expose API for it yet?
Not for Chat GPT, but for GPT, I believe there is an API, which is so I was looking at, and there's another thing called sandbox, like a sandbox GPT. I haven't played with this at all, but but I guess you don't phrase it in a conversational way. It's kind of like a very it's like a very complex autocomplete. I want to say is what I understand it to be. Um, but yeah, because it's open AI, and there's different ones like Codex is for it was what powers Codex is what powers
I mean, I know,
Copilot.
I know, serious like crap. I got competition.
Well, Google is the one that's scared because it's if you use Chat GPT, it's just much better than Googling because it can instead of going out Googling and then going through all the results to try to find an answer, it just gives you the answer.
Yeah, but ChatGPT, I mean, they're not going to be able to refer like restaurants or tourist attractions, will they?
No, well, maybe you could ask it, give me a list of whatever. I guess it would depend on the data coming in more real time than what it is, which is not how it is right now. But
I mean,
I'm sure if you went in there and asked it, "Hey, give me restaurant suggestions for this town," it would do that.
well, we can test it.
Yeah, there's an API for this. So this is for Dolly. Um, I think you have to pay when you're using their image models. You can get um,
What restaurants do
DaVinci is
you
the most powerful.
recommend? What restaurants do you recommend? Says my session expired. I literally just okay. What restaurants do you recommend in Miami Beach, Florida?
Yeah, there's an API for essentially GPT. So um,
Why do I have to log in?
because they don't want bots spamming it, because you could just write an API around entering and receiving data back from their backend. So they need to have a layer of authentication, and then
Oh, for like Stack Overflow, you can have a bot that
yeah,
answers every question.
yeah. That doesn't mean you can't like get one to log in, whatever. But then they've got I think Cloud Watch or something over top, or
What's
Cloud
what's
something.
CloudWatch? Was it
Not Cloud
a
Watch.
rate limiter or something?
I always get it confused because there's CloudFront, which is AWS, but then there's what's the hell the other one?
What the freak
Cloud.
is going on? Sign me in.
Yeah, it's a little in the mornings. It's Cloudflare is the one I'm thinking. I think they might have Cloudflare in front of it um, to protect it from bots and stuff like that. And then they probably have another layer of captchas and stuff like that. But um, if you get that page, try just refreshing where it's like we're experiencing high demand and
ChatGPT is at capacity right now. Get
Yeah.
notified when we're back. And then, my fellow citizens, the time has come. The future is here, and it is called ChatGPT. This revolutionary AI chatbot website is here to change the world, and we must embrace it with all of our strength and determination. I know that many of are you reading the same thing I'm reading? I know that many of you are eager to try ChatGPT for yourselves, and I assure you, we are doing everything in our power to make that happen. Our team is working tirelessly to accommodate the incredible demand for this groundbreaking technology. But I want to remind you that greatness is never achieved without sacrifice, and the road to the future of
Yeah.
AI will not be without its challenges. So please be patient. Trust that the right time for you to try ChatGPT will come. And when it does, let us seize this opportunity with all of our might. Let us embrace the power of AI and use it to build a brighter, more prosperous future for ourselves and for generations to come. Thank you. I think Obama wrote that. Do they ever put out the names of speechwriters for presidents?
I don't know. Probably.
Those are the unsung heroes for uh, Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln. You think Abraham Lincoln wrote his speech?
Probably. Maybe. I don't really know what at what point in time speechwriters became commonplace. I'm sure he had people look it over though.
The White House Director of Speechwriting is a role within the Executive Office of the President of the United States. The office holder serves as senior advisor and chief speechwriter to the President of the United States. I need a speechwriter for Beach Mobile. White House Director of Speechwriting. Michael Anton wrote for President Donald Trump. I don't know if that's good or bad. A speechwriter works directly with senior executives or leaders to determine what points, themes, positions, or messages the executive would like to cover. Speechwriters need to be able to accept criticism and comments on the different drafts of the speech, and be able to incorporate the proposed changes into the draft. You know, they drafted a speech in case the Apollo mission was a catastrophe. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's the same as writing a acceptance and a like a failure speech or whatever.
uh,
But
any,
yeah.
any other topics before we part ways?
I don't know. I guess I got nothing new.
I told you I started a YouTube channel with Odian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not Odian, Odie.
And you
I
got
don't like
strike.
listen. I don't like listening to my. I noticed that I leave a lot of time in between words when I'm talking, and I just did it like right now, and so I'm like, oh crap, who's gonna want to listen to this?
What do you mean you leave a lot of time between words?
So like when I'm talking to Odie, I've noticed that it takes me forever to complete a sentence because I'm still like thinking as I'm saying it. It
You're like Chat GPT trying to like finish out the lines. You're just
yeah,
waiting for it to.
I listened to the first like 15 seconds. I'm like, all right, I'm done listening to this. Like it took me forever to complete a sentence, and it's because like my mind is racing, but like people don't want to like wait for me to finish a thought. I mean, not that I'm like, well, for tech conception, I think I actually do care about the content. For this right here, it's just documenting, self-documenting journey of what I'm focused on or what bothers me.
Yeah.
So,
What is your YouTube channel about again?
uh,
I need to find it so I can just watch an episode or listen to an
business,
episode.
business and tech. It's called Tech Conception. I'll type it in the chat.
So you
Tech.
and Odie are making a tech baby together. Tech conception.
We'll see how. I'll be surprised if we're consistent for more than 3 weeks. It's Tech Conception and then Tech Conception clips, which I'm not going to do it, but Odie agreed to parse our hour or 2 hour long talks and create clips that are specific to certain topics.
Oh, that's weird. The you have like an umlaut in that when I'm searching there, but not here.
Oh, but what?
That's weird. Hold on. Let me share quick. Let me show you what I'm seeing. Present. Share screen. Share screen. YouTube. So this, I don't know if you can see this, but like, oh, what the heck? Did it go away now? Or is that just my monitor that made it look that way? You know what? Maybe I have like something on my monitor that made it look like there was like a. Oh my god, you're kidding me. I'm just being dumb. I'm gonna shut up. I swear to God, there was like an umlaut type thing over the C, and then when I hit this page, it wasn't. But I think it was literally just specs on my monitor. Never mind. Moving on.
Uh,
So you got one video out there, and then
so we have two channels. One is the long conversation that could be 1 to 2 hours, and the other one is going to be clips from those conversations that are like, you know, 5 to 15 minutes. I think it's tech conception dash clips or something like that.
clips,
But I mean, I don't think anything's been published to that channel.
conception clips. No.
And ChatGPT came up with the name tech conception.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Yeah, there's nothing on that yet. So, huh?
by next Friday, I hope to demo customer and courier talking to each other again, like I think I demoed 2 years ago. And I would hope to demo the wireframes or something similar to it for this website. I expect this website to be up probably within 3 weeks with me being a pessimist. So that's it.
Cool. I may or may not
All right.
complete some CF or some abstracts for a conference. We'll see. So
That will force you to get in deep on Orleans,
yeah,
Orleans.
yeah.
Do
I've
they
been
have a
getting
strong community for it?
not really. It's kind of more
Yeah,
of an
because if you run
advanced type
into some
thing.
issues, is anybody going to answer your question on
I think they
Stack
might have a
Overflow?
Gitter on it, but no, I've just kind of like I've already had to work around because the documentation is still kind of like morphing into usefulness. So like there's things where you're like, how do I just set up a normal silo for this? And it's not it's not obvious like what the how you actually register. It's like you have to piece together. Well, you do this. Um, but I think what I could do is just generate like a GitHub repo of like here's a self-hosted blah blah blah, and here's a whatever, just starter templates for them, and then build off of there. But um,
Mm.
I need to explore things like how do you like um, the big one that I need to learn to explore is like how do you evolve grains over time when their state changes, like different versions of the same thing. Um, so we'll see, but
All right.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know that there's a lot of jobs out there specific for Orleans, but now I'm like interested in in using it. So,
I mean, you
but if I
say
could become
that,
an expert at it, maybe there's
well,
like some niche like
or you say that as
opportunities
if
out there.
like you're framing this talk for recruiters that are selecting the technologies.
No,
Um,
well, I'm just saying like if I'm going to build up a like a particular expertise in some technology, it'd be nice if it was if it's something that would open up opportunities for future things. Um, as soon as I get really tired of the place that I'm at.
I think people will probably ask the question, why would I use this over other solutions such as Elixir?
Well, yeah, it's if you're in the .NET space. Otherwise, you might, if you're just coming at a greenfield from like I don't know any programming languages, you might pick Elixir or you might pick Java and use Akka. You might pick .NET and use Akka.NET. You might pick Erlang straight up and just use their I can't remember, but it's the underlying. They've got actors as part of their underlying thing too. So which is what
Well,
Elixir is based on.
I thought F Sharp had something similar to it with their mailbox. Hold up, what is
Yeah, I
it
think we've
called?
talked about this before.
F
Mailboxes.
mailbox
I don't I don't know that
mailbox
it's this.
processor.
Yeah, it might be that it's. Um, I don't think it's the same kind of thing. I mean, maybe you're probably generating a bunch of mailboxes, but
It's a dedicated message queue running on its own logical thread of control. Any thread can send the mailbox processor a message asynchronously or synchronously, allowing threads to communicate between one another through message passing. The thread of control is actually a lightweight simulated thread implemented via asynchronous reactions to messages. This style of message passing concurrency is inspired by the Erlang programming language.
no, yeah, yes, it's
Yeah.
very very similar.
So it's an
Um,
unsung hero because I don't think anybody talks about it.
yeah, there's a blog post for you. Um, but I don't know that that mailbox would have because that sounds like it's passing between threads within the same process. The difference with Orleans is that it's clustered. So it's like let's say you had 1,000 nodes in your cluster, right? One act, and assuming that there's no split brain type thing where there's multiple like clusters are broken off or whatever. If you have one instance of a let's say a courier like grain, that's going to exist on exactly one cluster or one node within the cluster at any given time, and any cluster node within the cluster that's trying to um, talk to that particular courier will all like route their messages to that one box. So it's like the problem with like traditional object oriented is it was designed for like a single machine, single threaded execution, right? Um, so you read something from the database, you make some updates to it, you put it back in. There's no problems because you're doing everything in a single thread, right?
Hmm.
But so there's no concurrency. But once you start putting in concurrency, that's when you start to get problems, right? So you got two requests come in at the same time to manipulate the same thing, and now you each read the thing out of the database at the same time. Make your different. You're technically attached to the same object, but you're doing it at the same time, so it's different. It's a different object, and so now like you have to resolve that conflict between the two. Um, the value of Orleans is that it's or Auroch or any of these is that you can describe actors as cloud native objects. So the object exists, but it exists in one place in the cloud as a whole in your entire cluster. So there's no chance of having those kind of conflicts where you've got two representations of the same thing in memory at the same time. So you got one across the cluster. So
And that's your abstract for you to submit.
yeah, yeah, there you go. I'll stop boring you now though. So I'll wait
That's
for a
good
blog
stuff.
post. All
All
right,
right.
now
It's been
catch you
real.
later.
Thanks
Yep,
for the feedback. Thanks for the QR code. See ya.
yep. See you. Bye.
All right. See you, Gambler. Bye.